Oh, why is your face so much bigger? There it goes.
Make us.
Hello!
Hey, everyone.
Alright, there we go. We're all set up. Angel, we're live.
Okay. All right. So right now, Claudia is going to get us set up with some background music, so there aren't a bunch of awkward silences. So in the meantime,
Okay, we're good.
oh, well, never mind. She was really fast. I was like, oh my God, I have to vamp. I don't know any jokes.
Hi, everybody. It's nice to be able to hang out with you guys live.
I know.
This is our first time doing a live stream, but here we are. Hello.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Sorry, if you see me like looking off to the side, it's because I'm looking at the chat, but I'm gonna bring it in front of me so that I'm not looking off to the side all the time. Here we go. Great. Much better. Yeah, so I'm Claudia. You guys know Angel better than you know me, but
Which is unfortunate because Claudia is actually way cooler than I am.
well, we won't get into that.
More cool?
Both. But yeah, we wanted to do a live stream because we kind of wanted to do something different. We post videos as regularly as we can, but we did want to just jump on here and say hello and see how people are doing on this lovely Saturday evening. It's 5 p.m. for me.
And 4 p.m. for me.
I'm in North Carolina, which is where my family lives.
Mm-hmm. And
I don't live
Texas.
here.
Right now. It's very hot here.
Angel's in Texas. I'm in NC. And I'll be going back to Boston at the end of the month. So if we do another one of these, it'll be from my apartment. Instead of, this is my room at my parents' house. Hey, 10 p.m. in the UK. Ooh,
I mean,
thanks for tuning in.
I do get while you blurt out your childhood bedroom.
Yeah,
there's some like posters that you shouldn't see.
There's
boy
no
bands.
But and it's also not my childhood bedroom. My parents have only lived here for like 6 years.
Okay, never mind.
So that is my mom's cat's bed, and then my Switch and the TV that I used to play video games, which is what I do 90% of my time.
You say video games like you aren't only playing Animal Crossing.
No, I'm playing other video games too. Don't be rude. Lancashire, England. Wow. Oh my goodness. I can't believe.
Hello,
yes,
people.
Please tell us where you are. And then we'll get into the questions in a little bit. We just kind of wanted to chat for a bit before we started answering people's questions. So yeah, Angel, what have you been up to?
Not much. I've been hanging out with Percy all day. I was watching The Office.
If you don't know, Percy is Angel's dog.
Yes, sorry. Percy's right here on the floor. Passed out. Totally passed out.
NYC. Yes, I used to live there. Angel and I both used to live there. We
That's how we became really good friends.
Yeah, that's where we actually started talking to each other. For those of you that don't know, Angel and I went to undergrad together.
In Mississippi.
In Mississippi, yeah. Recently moved from Louisiana to St. Louis. Where in Louisiana? We used to hang out. I used to go to New Orleans all the time.
Same.
When we were in Mississippi.
But not together. We weren't friends then.
Yeah, no. Angel and I knew very little about her, and we were not friends. In undergrad.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like every university every music program kind of has that divide between instrumentalists and singers.
Mandeville, above New Orleans. Oh, nice. Yeah, used to go there all the time. Angel is from the South, so she probably knows that area better than I do. But I did live there for a long time.
I think Mandeville's close to Covington. I know I like spent the weekend in Covington once visiting a friend.
Oh, hi, Anna. Anna's here. Hi.
Hey,
Hola,
Anna.
Vida. Love you. Thanks for hanging out with us. Um, but yeah, anyway, sorry, I interrupted you. What are you up to? You've been hanging out with Percy all day?
Girl, I haven't done anything. You interrupted nothing. I've been watching The Office for like the maybe 30th time.
Oof.
I took a nap.
I
It was really nice.
That's nice. I started so I was saying I like to play video games. I started the Breath of the Wild Champions Ballad DLC today.
Nice.
I like how you say nice, like you know what I'm talking about.
I've seen the photos of Beast of the Wild because when you told me
Breath
that it was beautiful,
of
Breath
the
of the
Wild.
Wild, I saw photos because you told me it was really beautiful, so I looked it up.
No, like you've been there while I've played.
Wait, is that the one where I watched you like try to get over a rock like for 20, 30, 40 minutes?
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that old. I thought this was like a new Zelda game.
No, it's Breath of the Wild, but there's a DLC. The DLC is also old, but I just started it.
Okay.
Yeah. I play. Are you asking me, Nikosh? Yes, I play a lot of different games, but I'm on Zelda right now,
Nice.
and Animal Crossing. I went to grad school at Mississippi College in Clinton, Mississippi.
Oh my gosh, my mom is an alum of Mississippi College. And my sister.
I think my dad teaches there now. That's so interesting.
That's so cool. Yeah, I'm friends with a couple of the faculty members. Like it's a great school.
Yeah, it is.
Cool.
Good afternoon, Theodore Jander. It's nice to meet you. Date Mike. Nice to meet
Nice to meet me.
Apologize in advance for the copious office references that you'll see in
have
over
a
the
personality.
next couple hours.
I'm just a consciousness like cobbled together with office quotes and music.
Same. But let's see, what else have I been doing today? Nothing really. I showered for you.
Thanks.
I took a shower. For you.
I styled the front half of my hair. The back of it is very curly and frizzy. And I thought, they're not going to see it. So if I turn my head and you see like, I don't know, like gnarled curls, that's why.
That's
sorry.
Forgive you?
I don't know.
I don't care. Okay, maybe we should start getting into some of these questions. I'm going to scroll up to the top of the chat. Okay, and then why?
I don't know.
And then we've also gotten some off the stream, like offline. So we'll bring those in as well. Let's see, David Ricks. Hiya, Angel and Clau. Glad you're both okay. Thanks. Loving your channel. Got an unusual question for you. Many in the opera said Mario Lanza was a film singer, not an opera singer. What is your opinion, and why?
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 That's a really interesting question, David. I feel like a moderator in a quiz bowl. But it really is an interesting question because I grew up on all of those old movies, you know, The Toast of New Orleans, Midnight Kiss, Serenade, which you can't watch without crying unless you're a monster. And I did remember reading a biography of him a while ago. I love reading biographies of singers. And there were a lot of myths about him, that he didn't have a big enough voice, that he couldn't get through a recording of an aria without it being like patched in. And while those weren't true, I think the problem was that his personality was not very pleasant to be around. He was very bullheaded. He didn't learn music very quickly. And operatic music can be a little bit more, I don't want to say sophisticated, because some of the music in Toast to New Orleans or Serenade or any of those things that he did was, I mean, Love Is Where You Find It is a beast of a song. But it's one thing to learn, 4 songs in a movie musical, and another thing to learn 3 hours of music, staging, and do it all in one go.
Yeah.
But he did do a concert with Lucia Albanese, who said that he had a sizable instrument. And Richard Bonning was a conductor. He's still alive, actually, who was married to the amazing coloratura soprano Joan Sutherland, also said the same thing, that they were surprised by how beautiful his voice was and how large it was. So I think really the main reason that, and this is just conjecture from somebody who has seen his movies and watched or read a biography, years ago. But I think the main reason was probably money, money. Yeah. If Josh Groban wanted to, he could have studied classically, and dedicated himself to learning opera and probably become an opera singer. But he makes way more money doing what he's doing. And for Lanza, it was probably, even back then, it was probably the same, to be in Hollywood instead of being on stage. Yeah. So yeah, but anybody who's watching who's never heard of him, even though he maybe was a bit of a jackass, and again, conjecture, because I don't know, I wasn't there, his voice was really beautiful. You should go listen to him. Go watch Toasted New Orleans. It's cute.
Okay. Angel, is it possible to mix whistle with head voice? For example, like you do chest/head to create a mix?
I have never even thought of that or been asked that. I know that voice scientists don't know as much about the whistle register because it's difficult to impossible to film during a laryngoscopy. Am I saying that correctly? Maybe not. Laryngoscopy. I don't know. I haven't had one in a long time. Maybe I should get one and have my ENT pronounce it for me before he shoves a video camera down my throat. But it's really difficult to film it while you're singing in whistle because your epiglottis covers the voice box. And you're also singing on the chords are already pretty small, and you're singing on a very, very small portion of your chords. Mm-hmm. So I feel, with singing, it's all relative, because I can say, it's impossible for somebody to have a six octave range, and then somebody like Dimash will prove me wrong. There's always going to be outliers, but I think that in general, for, an average set of chords, it would be difficult to achieve any sort of head voice along with whistle, because you would need that portion of the chords vibrating as well. That being said, I have heard gospel singers do whistle tone with growl. So, that's a mixed vocal function already and it's insane. Oh my God, just look it up. Gospel singer hits D sharp 6, it's crazy. But I think in general, probably not.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. Hi, Angel. Hi, Clau. Thanks for the live stream. Oh, thanks. You're welcome. Claudia is the editor, right? Well, I would say about 90%.
Thank God.
Of the videos I edit. There are some that Angel edits, just because it's easier. As opposed to, because we don't live in the same place, we have to send footage to each other, so there are times when it's easier, since she's the one that's filming herself, for her to just cut the video down. But yeah, most of the time it's me. Both cool and both looking lovely. Aw, thanks, David.
Thanks. Looking lovely from here forward.
From the front.
The back of the head.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, goodness. What do you play? Oh, that was for video games. Claudia, you're familiar with Twitch, right? Yeah. You could try to make some live streams there too. Also, if Angel wants, she can sing there too. Yes. I have a Twitch channel. I haven't really done very many streams on there. But when I do, I'll let you all know. I usually stream things like Animal Crossing and stuff. But yeah, maybe Angel should do some singing streams there.
Claudia did a really awesome stream of with a couple of friends where she played The Sims, and she made all of us Sims, and then she killed us all.
Yeah,
it was really fun. I showed up too late to be killed, and I was kind of bummed about it.
Thank you, Claudia, for pronouncing my last name correctly. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad I pronounced it correctly. Male beginner singer here. When getting closer to my secondo passaggio, B flat 4, I struggle singing certain vowels. It seems that a common taught pattern is to modify vowels at certain parts of a singer's range. My question is this approach taught for beginner singers only, or are there certain physical limitations that impose the vowel's modification?
I think, for me personally, I like to stay as close to the vowel of the text as I can. But it also sort of depends on intent and the color that you want, because when it comes down to it, the format that you create, the vowel that you create is going to create, I said create like 8 times, it's going to create a different color, and also potentially, am I thinking of the physics of this correctly? But I think it could produce different overtones depending on how varying the formants are. I'll double check that myself, because it's going to bother me if I don't know. But for young singers and for myself, I modify in certain places. Like, for example, when I'm singing Il est doux, il est bon from Hérodiade, there's a B flat 5 at the end, and I'm supposed to sing prophète. I don't sing on a B flat, because I'm supposed to be Salome, and she's like fun as shit. Like, she's one of the sexiest characters, deranged but sexy, and singing such a closed, focused vowel on a B flat 5 is not going to sound dark and lush and sultry. It's just not. So I modify to an O and sing prophète. I've said prophète probably 13 times prior to that moment, so it doesn't bother me to modify it. I think for you, what matters most, if you're a beginning singer, sorry, I go off on tangents. If you're a beginner singer, the most important thing is that you are singing the top with ease. If that means that you need to modify, please God, modify. Don't stick to a vowel that's uncomfortable because you feel like you need to serve the text. Now, if you're not singing a B flat 4 or a C, if you're singing probably A flat, try and stick to the text that's there. Stick to the vowel that's there. But otherwise, yes, please modify. And then later on, when you're really comfortable with your top, you can say, okay, I do want to sing the closed D on the B flat because, I'm crazy. It should sound like a scream, or I want it to sound more silvery. Or you can say, I'm going to modify it to an O because I'm crying and I'm sad and I want to feel a darker color here. Yeah, that's my thoughts. But yes, I modify all the time. Just don't modify too far. Don't go from like an E to an oo. That's insane.
Growl is probably produced with the false chords, ?
Yeah, I mean, definitely true. I honestly don't know much about the false chords because I do not teach scream. I don't teach any sort of metal singing that involves screamo. And I also don't teach gospel. So when growl is utilized in a singer's voice, I can't really comment on it. I have read texts on the false chords and I've studied them a little bit, but it just was never, I don't want to say it's something that didn't interest me, but at the time I wasn't teaching. I was just reading for pleasure or because I'm insane. And I didn't study too much on it. I probably will now because I'd like to, know more about how that functions. Whenever I listen to gospel singers that employ a growl way up in their whistle tone, I'm just like, what?
Nico's is asking for my Twitch.
Yeah.
So I'm dropping that in the chat. I have 0 subscribers. But yeah, sometimes I stream on there, stream games. I might start doing it more. Yeah,
do it. Watching you play is very relaxing.
That's what people tell me. But yeah, I mean, I like trying out different games and stuff. So, let's see. Ciao, y'all. Mashup Killer. Ciao. What do you think about Morissette Amon and Katrina Villard? We did a Morissette Eamon video, but it didn't get published because, I'll tell you why, I forgot to edit it. That's why.
Is
So
that
it's
one?
sitting
It's been
on
sitting in the Google Drive, right?
Yeah, we have a Google Drive where we keep all of a bunch of footage, and it's in there. Yeah.
I mean, my ultimate takeaways from who was the other singer that they said?
Katrina Velarde.
I haven't listened to her yet, but we can add her to the list, to the Google Doc.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Morissette goes, the recording that I listened to her sing, I think she was 18. She's really young in the recording.
I don't know.
You don't remember?
Looked at it.
Okay.
I haven't looked at it.
I do remember that she's really young. She does a lot of squeaks, and her lower register isn't as solid as it will be. And I say this like she had an amazing voice. I thought it was beautiful. But she's so young. I mean, I just want to see where it's going to go, because I feel like her technique is really going to solidify in the next few years, because that's what happens when you're 18. When you hit 21, 22, 23, your voice sort of evens out. So I'm ready to hear her lower register get a little more strength, like that her top has and that her whistle has. But the flexibility was so good.
Okay. I agree completely. He had mood issues. Beautiful voice. Oh, I think they're talking
about Lonzo?
About Lonzo again, yeah. Oh, it's David, yeah. The great Caruso and him singing I Walk With God was my favorite song. Thanks for the reply. It's good to hear from someone in opera.
Yay!
What software/apps do you use for video editing? I use DaVinci Resolve because it's free, and it's really... it has like everything that I could possibly need. Yeah.
And I use iMovie because it's easy to understand. I am not technologically advanced. Claudia, wait, as an aside. So the other day I was doing a Zoom like small group session with Patricia Rosette, which is part of the OTSL sort of like online curriculum that they've developed for us since it got canceled. And I was the tech support for the group.
How?
I know.
Whoops.
So like in a group of normal people, I am so deficient when it comes to technology, but in a group of singers, and I posit that this is true, I am tech support in a group of singers. Like none of us, who's good at technology? Yes. There's outliers for sure, but for the most part, we're all like, what? What's happening?
Bon Jovi, I mean, who doesn't love him? But he actually was hitting notes, high notes while belting or something, right? Like, I believe so.
Yeah, he'd sing in his falsetto. I don't think he's singing whistle, though, if that's what they're asking.
I'm not sure. Giallopo, if you want to elaborate. Growling does not involve false vocal cords. Vocal fry does it.
Isn't vocal fry also... done on the false chords?
Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I'll very happily read up on it later, but yeah.
How would you react if Dimash asked you to do a duet with him?
Yes. Like, is that even a question? Duh, of course.
No, like, how would you react? Not what would you say?
Oh, I'd be like, yes. Duh, yes. You don't have to ask, just tell me when.
Do you ever sing pop songs operatically? If so, do you have any favorites? Oh my god, so much. She does it all the time. But like for fun, right? Like not.
And I do the same thing with opera. Like I like to sing opera like it's jazz. Like that's my favorite.
Well, you also sing pop songs like it's jazz. That one I've seen you do more.
Everything just turns into jazz for me.
Yeah. But yeah, do you have a favorite?
A favorite pop song that I turn into opera? Mm-hmm. I'm blanking. I don't know.
I think you do it with a lot of different songs.
I do it with a lot. I mean, if I hear something on the radio, I'm probably going to ruin it. I think in general, I just sing a lot. Like I'll be talking and it'll suddenly turn into like Disney princess voice.
Yeah, she does that. To be fair, I do that too. It doesn't sound good when I do it, but
It's not true.
okay. Hi, glad to see you. What's your attention to female contralto? Who is the most famous modern singers with this voice?
Ooh. Famous modern singers with this voice. I mean, my brain immediately goes to Ava Podles, but she's still alive. I wouldn't call her modern. I mean, she's not performing anymore, I don't think. Or maybe Raktishvili. I mean, she's a mezzo, but I think that if we lived in a perfect world, she'd probably classify herself as a contralto. Raktishvili is a Georgian, I want to say, mezzo soprano, but her low notes, I mean. And Stephanie Blythe is singing. Oh my God, Stephanie Blythe is this amazing. I mean, she's a contralto. She calls herself a mezzo. She's a contralto. They call themselves mezzo so they get more work because they can sing high, but she's a contralto. She's singing Gianni Schicchi at San Diego Opera this upcoming season. Schicchi is a baritone role. She's singing the title role of a baritone in an opera at a major opera company.
That's badass.
I'm like I can't even talk about it. Like, I can't even breathe. I'm so excited about it. I've never even been to San Diego. I'm gonna fly there so that I can go. Like, I really want to make a trip out and go see that.
I can tell you that growling does not involve false vocal cords. Vocal fry does it. I believe you, Mashup Killer.
I believe you too.
I believe you. You're a Twitch streamer already? I wouldn't call myself a Twitch streamer. I have streamed on Twitch one time, but I would not say that I'm... Little music. Oh my gosh, a Sling! Hi! Sarah! Hello! I'm glad you're here, yeah. Claudia, will you ever play Twitch Sings with Angel together?
Twitch Sings?
I don't know what Twitch Sings is. Maybe it's just singing on Twitch? We should.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
That'd be fun.
Maybe once we're able to be in the same place at once.
Like karaoke? Karaoke.
Yeah. Help differences between twang and belting.
Twang and belting? Like twang, like what country singers do?
I guess.
I don't think there's any difference. I mean,
there are differences because they're just different things, but I don't think they're comparable.
Yeah, I think twang might be a little more nasal just because the vowels are more spread because it's a southern accent.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, I can't do my Mississippi accent, and I haven't had enough wine to do my Mississippi accent. I burned it out of my brain so that I don't sound like a bigot. Sorry, Mississippi. I'm sorry. But no, I don't. Unless you're talking about that little that kind of squeak that country singers can do. Reba McEntire does it a lot. But no, I mean the mix is still pretty much the same as belt. The only difference is you have much more horizontal vowels and mouth positions, even more so than in regular belting, which is already pretty wide.
Mm. Claudia, what camera are you using? I've never seen portrait-looking shots in live stream. Oh, this is just my computer webcam. We are chatting on Skype, and then I have the Skype call feeding into Streamlabs, which is in turn feeding into the live stream. So that's what you're seeing. I guess yeah. I don't know. Let's see. Thanks for the reply on the vowel modifications. Secondly, Claudia, you look awesome. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks.
Sarah.
Hi, Angel. Do you have any recommendations on opera/opera singers for people delving further into operas as a listener? Yeah, she has recommendations.
Claudia's Leslie. Yes.
Just don't give like 3.
Fine.
Don't go on forever.
I think that everybody at some point in their life should listen to the Kleiber conducting La Boheme with Amico singing Mimi and Pavarotti singing Rodolfo. I mean, Pavarotti was not the hottest man on earth, but listen, you listen to him sing Rodolfo, and you're like, yes, 10 out of 10 would marry this man. 10 out of 10. And he's a tenor. Ugh, would marry. It's so good. And Kleiber's so great with the conducting. Listen to that production of Bohème. Don't listen to the Karajan, because Karajan was a Nazi, and he also doesn't follow any of Puccini's like written directives. He's so loose with tempi. It doesn't serve the music at all. Karajan is just a dick. Don't. I mean, I love him, I do, but not with Puccini, because he was like judgmental about Italian music.
Man, am I glad I told YouTube that this stream was not suitable for children.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
It's okay.
I cannot talk about Karajan doing Puccini and not curse. So I'm sorry if there are young people watching. Then I think you should listen to anything Renee Fleming has done, because I think that she's not only a very intelligent singer, but also extremely accessible for people who are new to opera. I would recommend listening to her Rusalka or her Eugene Onegin, which the one with Dmitri Khvorostovsky, the Silver Fox of Opera, who I love very, very dearly, R.I.P. But yeah, she's beautiful. Rusalka is like the story of a mermaid princess, so it's good. And Eugene Onegin is a really beautiful Russian opera by Tchaikovsky. And again, you can look at Dmitri Khvorostovsky if that's your thing. It's my thing.
That's three, right?
No, that's two, because I said Renee Fleming. It was in the Renee Fleming like category.
Okay.
And my last one is, hold on, now I'm blanking. Oh God.
You're blanking on operas?
Well, there's just so many. I'm like, I can't pick just one.
You're not. You're picking three.
I'm trying to think of someone who's younger. Listen to Isabelle Leonard's Barber of Seville.
All right. There you have it.
Okay. Oh my God. But if you comment on something else later, I'll write a very long comment about that question.
Let's see. Belting or something. My go-to as of now. Oh, this is the same person that asked for recommendations. So they said that their go-to is Joan Sutherland in her various dramatic coloratura roles, but mostly listens to her in La Traviata. They love Sempre Libera. Also familiar with Fleming and Marilyn Horne.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're like intermediate. Like they're like getting in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so check out Edmond Alayaho singing Suor Angelica. It was either at Covent Garden or at English National Opera, but there is a DVD of it somewhere, and it's excellent. She gets a little sharp when she gets into the emotional stuff, but to my ears, that's better than going flat. And she's just so beautiful in the roles. I mean, just her entire Tritico. I'd also recommend, if you've already been listening to those people, I mean, Joan Sutherland's where it's at. That's who I listen to. You could listen to Edita Gruberova's 60-year-old Norma, like for kicks and giggles. It's wildly good. All of her early stuff is too. And also remember that, you know, opera is amazing and beautiful and wonderful, but art song is just as beautiful. So if you're listening to things like Joan Sutherland singing Sempre Libera, and you like that like coloratura fireworks, stick into opera. But if you want to get into more of just like really intimate, beautiful vocal stylings, maybe try Ellie Omling singing Schubert Lieder, or for more powerful and also like really funny rep, you could try Elizabeth Schwarzkopf doing Wolflieder, like the Modica, or Modica has most of the funny ones, I think, or Eichendorff.
Cool.
Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
Yeah, that's enough. Angel, why didn't you mention Montserrat Caballé in your Soprano Divas video?
I mean, I do love Caballé. But for me, I mean, I really was just posting 5 times, not necessarily that like my soul ascended into the heavens, but 5 times where singers just surprised me. And those really are the 5 times. I mean,
Yeah, that wasn't necessarily like your 5 favorite singers of all
right,
time.
right. It was just like Renee Fleming floating like that surprised me. You know, it just hit me like, oh my God, like how can anyone float so beautifully? Although if I were to include a Caballé moment, it would be the moment in Quel bel sogno from Puccini's La Rondine, where she covers, where she holds over the no, I mean, and that's way faster than it should be because I had to do it in one breath and I'm not Caballé. But she does this huge suspended phrase where she goes to a B flat 5 and then comes back down, and then goes up to a C6 and comes back down. And she does it all in one breath. And I don't know anybody else that does it in one breath. Like, how dare you? How dare you? She's got an extra lung. I mean, there's no other explanation. Yeah, so that would have been the moment I included. But I had to include Jotacum's Cluckatora because it's wild.
One for you, Claudia. Of all the songs you have seen and edited, which is the one you enjoyed the most? I think I definitely enjoyed. I think the one I enjoyed the most was the second Luis Miguel that we did, and now I'm blanking on the name of the song.
Incondicional.
La Incondicional, yeah. Because I love Luis Miguel, and because we got stuck on like this dance move that he does, and we could not stop doing that move every time that we talked. So it was literally, we would be talking and all of a sudden one of us would like start going like this, and anytime that we said goodbye, like if we were FaceTiming or something and we were about to hang up, we'd be like, okay, bye. And we did that a lot, so that one was fun for that reason. But also I think the first Dimash video that I edited was probably one of the ones I enjoyed the most, for a number of reasons, not the least of which being that it was kind of my first time ever hearing Dimash, and then also kind of that one and the Luis Miguel video kind of started to push us out, and more and more people started seeing our videos, and that just for that sentimental
the beginning
reason, you know, that was kind of the beginning. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And also don't forget, in the Luis Miguel Incondicional, we also answered the phone every time any one of us called for like a month and a half. We'd be like, la 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 la.
Oh, yeah.
La 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 la.
It's so good. If you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. He is
the
so
king.
Good. Twitch Sings is a game. It's karaoke. And has a big list of songs that you can choose, duet or sing them alone. I think there are even some opera songs in there. Oh my gosh, thanks,
cool.
Nikos. That's so cool. Yeah, we'll definitely do that then. That sounds like something that we would like to do. Jesse Long leans forward. Tank. Yes. Tank.
Tank. Kevin, I appreciate what you're trying to do here. Tank.
Growl techniques usually involve using the diaphragm and air pressure on the throat to form the sound. Many tend to use too much pressure on their throats and thus have vocal cord problems / defects. Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
Is that Matt in relation to more growl?
Is that what?
Is that, I think his name was Matt, in relation to more growl?
That's Mashup Killer, and I guess.
Totally agree on that. Yes.
Yeah. And then they say vocal fry is perceived as creaky, low-pitched, as is the result of very slow and uneven vibration of the true vocal cords that has caused the recruitment of false vocal cords.
Nice. Hey, I am really interested in reading more about vocal fry and false chord function. So if you want to drop like whatever study or article you picked that up from, I'd love to read it. Because most opera pedagogy books don't talk about it because it's not a function that singers in the classical world use.
Jesse also says Karajan's Puccini is far too slow.
Karajan was just like a pretentious snob Nazi who was like, oh, well, Puccini didn't mean it to be this way because he was an Italian idiot, like stupid sugar music. Seriously, like read about it. And if you read any like pre-1950 German musicologist talking about Puccini, like you would not believe how like rude and just racist and wrong they are when they talk about Puccini's compositions. It's awful, like disrespect, so rude. Yeah, it's the only German conductor that I really, at least from that time period, that did Puccini justice was Kleiber because he honored what Puccini wrote. I will die on this hill.
Renee was my bridge from musical theater into opera. Oh, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, she is really great at that crossover.
Mm-hmm. You should listen to her sing. John Kander was commissioned a piece by her. It's called The Letter of Sullivan Ballou. And if you want to, I mean, we're not going to get into the state that America is in right now. But if you want to be sad for our country and cry, listen to Renee Fleming sing Letter of Sullivan Ballou that she commissioned from John Kander. Make sure that you don't click on the recording, click on the live video from the first performance. John Kander is either the man who wrote Cabaret or the son of the man who wrote Cabaret. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, another like musical theater composer who sort of bridged into classical music when he composed that piece. And yeah, you'll cry a lot, a whole bunch.
I've heard Angel sing it, and I cried.
I embarrassed myself, and I cried when I sang it.
Yeah.
It was
I've heard people
very
say,
embarrassing.
Oh, yeah, it was a 4th of July concert, too. I've heard people say that baritones have more flexibility than tenors, and I have heard the opposite, too. Is that a myth, or is there some study behind it? What do you think?
Case by case.
No.
100% case by case. It depends on the baritone. It depends on the tenor.
Ooh, this is a good question. These are all good questions. I just think this one is going to be fun to answer for me because I haven't answered anything.
Sorry.
How old were each of you when you found music? When did you think about doing it professionally? And when did you know you could really do it professionally? Great, really cool question. I can start. My parents are musicians, classical musicians, professional classical musicians. So I started doing music when I was about 3, because that's before then I could barely walk. So when I was about 3, I started playing violin. And I loved it. And I kept playing violin until I went to college. And then once I got to college, I decided I wanted to play the viola, so I switched to viola. So I kind of always knew that's what I wanted to do. I never really had, and it wasn't like my parents were forcing me either. Like I knew that's what I wanted. It was never a question, because that's the world I grew up in. Not just because my parents are musicians, but because their friends were musicians. My friends were musicians. My parents' friends, their kids also played instruments. So like my entire life I was just surrounded by classical music, and I just knew I wanted to be a part of it. When did you think about doing it professionally? Like I said, I always knew. And when did you know you could really do it professionally? I think it wasn't until maybe like sophomore year of college for me that I was like, you know what, I'm actually pretty good at this. Like I knew that I was talented. I knew that I have talent, not just for music, but for what my job is, which is I work in arts administration. But I knew that I could do it just because I really didn't feel like I ever wanted to stop, and that's still the feeling that I have. Like it's something that I know that in some way, shape, or form, music is always going to be a part of my life. Even if I'm not performing all the time, which I'm not, because I decided after college that I didn't want to be a performer, even though my degree is in performance. I decided that I wanted to be an arts admin so that I could help more young musicians of color get into classical music. So yeah, that's my story. And now we'll switch to Angel. Same questions to you.
You guys don't realize it, but Claudia, like, if anyone can change the entire way that classical music functions as an institution, it's Claudia. It's true. It's so true. Like, she's
Let's hope so
competent and just like over the top good at everything she does. Like, it's unreal. Like, yes, if anybody's going to make classical music like not a racist pile of garbage, it's Claudia. And also just like more connected to the way the world functions now, like in general, it's Claudia. She can do
classical music
straight
is
up anything.
It's very antiquated. A lot of things about it are done the way that they've always been done, and a lot of what I do professionally and on my own time, any side projects that I have, are to kind of help change that. So this being one of the things, this channel. So Angel, how old were you?
So my mother was a coloratura soprano, and also not at all the same level as Claudia's mother, who's an amazing classical pianist, and you should go check out her YouTube channel that will link below at some point, if that's possible.
Sure. I'll find her channel. And
you should listen. She gave me a CD for when Claudia graduated from her master's. She gave me a CD of her playing, and I listened to it to death. I actually need a new CD because I listened to it so much in my car that it doesn't work anymore. I'm not kidding. I didn't take it out at all. I don't know how it scratched up. But anyways, I'm obsessed with her mom's playing. Sorry, I'm talking about Claudia again. Sorry.
Moving on.
So I really wasn't that interested in classical music. I actually was more on my dad's side of things and was really into like Simon and Garfunkel and the Grateful Dead. And my mom kept trying to make me go to recitals, and my sister was also in college at the time. And I went to go see her sing Countess in Le Nozze di Figaro. And I was like, yes, I love this type of music. This is great. But it wasn't until I was 7 and I saw Jeanette MacDonald sing Je veux vivre from Gounod's Faust. And I think I was 7 at the time. And I was like, oh, shit. Oh, yeah. And then I freaked out and I forced my mother to teach me Je veux vivre at 7. Don't learn that aria when you're 7, guys. I was a very aggressive child. I'm just an aggressive personality. I don't know why she didn't say no. Actually, I do know why she didn't say no. And then I graduated from high school a year early, and I spent my first year doing biochem. But I took an internship at the Mississippi Opera and met the teacher that I studied with in my undergrad. I transferred schools and switched to vocal performance. And that's the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's that story. I knew that I was going to be a professional opera singer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it was even from when I first listened to Jeanette MacDonald, I knew it. The only reason I sort of like diverted from the path was because I thought I'll become an opera singer and get a degree in something else so that I'm not broke all the time. And even then, I was like, I can't survive 4 years of doing biochem. Like, I need to be involved in a music curriculum now. So now I'm poor and very, very happy.
Soprano drinks beer. I'm not a soprano. I'm a viola player, and viola players drink a lot of beer. Angel, what wine are you drinking? That looks like a rosé.
It is a rosé. I used to not like rosés until I lived in Virginia. And then it became a thing. You cannot deal with a 95-degree summer and drink red wine. Like, you can't do it.
I mean, I can, but whatever. If you can assign... the question from Sarah. Yay. If you could assign the top operatic sopranos a cocktail, what would it be? Of course Sarah would ask this question.
Wait, if you can assign...
If you could assign the top operatic sopranos a cocktail, what would it be?
Renee Fleming, white wine spritzer. No question. And for anybody in America who thinks white wine spritzers are tacky, they drink them all the time in Austria. They're not tacky. They are. Yes,
ooh,
white wine
and
spritzer.
We have somebody from Austria.
I think Collis would be a Negroni.
Jasmine. Oh.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Joan would be, ooh, what would Joan be? I actually feel like Joan would be something that's like a little bit on the sweet side and maybe also kind of fruity. Hmm. Help me out here, Claudia. This is your question too, because it's from
Something
slang.
on the sweet side and maybe kind of fruity.
Like a very strong taste.
Very strong taste.
I'm thinking rum.
Ah, so like a mojito?
Maybe a mojito.
No.
It doesn't
Who?
feel like what's a cocktail with mango in it for Joan? I don't know. She's from Australia. This is the vibe I'm getting.
Okay.
Sarah probably has a better idea than we do.
Maybe Sarah can tell us what she would assign them.
Who would be? I'd be a gin and tonic. 100%.
I hear you're lumping yourself in there with the top operatic sopranos.
Listen, if I don't believe in myself, nobody's going to.
This is true.
I am my number one fan and my number one hater.
Cool.
Anybody
else?
Sandra Radvanovsky, I would say vodka martini. For Tibaldi, Kala said something really bitchy and said orange juice. But I would think that Tibaldi would be like just red wine, like the most lush, like perfect red wine. Caballé, I think, would be something really smooth. Definitely nothing carbonated.
Something smooth.
Like maybe a White Russian.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Something milky, like something that's like really. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, are there?
All right. Okay. Any favorite Black opera singers?
Yes. Leontine, Jessie, Denise Graves. My hero, the queen of the world. Why isn't she singing at the Met? Athalie Graham. She's alive right now. Go listen to her Turandot. If you haven't listened to it, it's a problem. She's amazing, and she's also like the nicest woman on the planet. And you know, Kathleen Battle gets a lot of hate because she was extraordinarily difficult to work with, but I have one of her Christmas albums and I listen to it every Christmas and I love it so much. And also listening to her sing anything is gorgeous. She had such an amazing voice. Oh man, Rary Grist. But yeah, I mean, Denise Graves, you have to listen to her sing Carmen. Jessie, you have to listen. I mean, of course, listen to her sing her operatic stuff, but also listen to Jessie's art song because it's beautiful. All of her Mahler, all of her Strauss art song is so gorgeous. She even does some of the Strauss lieder that you wouldn't expect. Like she does Kling from the Brentano lieder, which you're used to hearing like Natalie Dessay, like really light, bright voices sing, but it's gorgeous. She does transpose it down, I think a half step or maybe a whole step. But who cares? And her Dubis de Lens. Sorry, I think Jessie's probably my favorite overall.
Cool.
Well, no, Athalie. I don't know. I can't decide. They're all amazing. Sadly, I don't know. I feel like I should know more Black male opera singers. I know like Lawrence Brownlee. Shame on me. My friend Ezekiel Andrews is an amazing singer. He used to sing straight opera, but now he does more musical theater. But there are recordings of Ezekiel singing If I Can't Love Her from Beauty and the Beast on YouTube. He's also like a beautiful human being on the inside and on the outside if you want to just stare at him. But yeah, he's got great recordings of Beauty and the Beast on YouTube. You should check him out. Sorry. Yeah, I only know women. I'm sorry.
What happened? We just got a subscriber.
Oh, hello.
Bow SH just subscribed. Thanks.
Thanks.
That's what that sound was, in case you guys were wondering. Angel is stellar at art song. Just saying. Yeah, that you're stellar at art song.
Thanks.
You realize you will start doing the dance again. Yeah, absolutely. We probably will start doing the dance again. It's so funny. You have to watch
it.
They say Diana Ankudinova, maybe you've heard this young talented singer from Russia, has female contralto, but I can't understand if she has contralto or she makes it using some vocal techniques.
Oh, all the chat conversation will stay, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll go check her out because I'm always interested in like new opera singers. So let me check her out and I will comment once I've heard her sing.
Yeah.
But thanks for the rec.
Can you type out the Puccini opera / singers to listen to? Didn't have time to write it out. Yeah, maybe after.
Yeah, of course. I'll go
done,
through and just like say like ask for clarification and I'll definitely do that.
Do you want videos or script of vocal fry? There is one particular style of Magnolian throat singing. Yeah, absolutely. Send whatever resources you have into the chat, and we are also familiar with Mongolian throat singing. One of my favorite techniques. It's so cool.
Yes. Agreed.
Claver was Austrian cabaret, and Letter from Sylvan Ballou is the same piece. Oh, same composer.
Oh, good. Yeah, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were like, maybe it's the sun. So I wasn't 100% sure. But yeah, awesome.
Hello from Austria. Hello, Jasmine.
Hello.
It's nice to see you. I got the orchestra parts from John for a Christmas program I conducted. Cool.
That's so cool.
Recommendations for Bach opera singers and operas. Yeah. Oh, that was Adam. Hi, Adam.
Adam, hey.
Yeah. We just talked about that. But maybe we can do another roundup.
Did he say for Bach or for
Black?
Oh, for Black. Yeah. So I went through, definitely listened to Denise Graves, definitely listened to, obviously, Leontine Price. Kathleen Battle may have had a problem. You know what? I'm sorry. Kathleen Battle can have a problematic personality because opera's racist AF. Like, she probably was just defensive because everybody around her wanted her to fail. So, whatever. Kathleen Battle should not have been canceled. That was some BS. Okay? And she can be as dramatic and as extra as she wants to be because she worked her ass off and was amazing. So, like, when singers like Angela Georgiou can be problematic and demanding and that girl is still singing, and Kathleen Battle is problematic and demanding and she's gone, like, doing recitals in Japan, no. Wrong. Sorry. Not okay. Like, just not okay. But I think my favorites probably are Jessie Norman and Athalie Graham. Athalie Graham is a living dramatic soprano, and I'm obsessed with her, and I think she's amazing. And she's also incredibly kind in all of my interactions with her. She's been so nice. And her Turandot's amazing. You should go check it out. And I think I said that when it comes to Jessie Norman, everybody, of course, should listen to her Wagner, should listen to all of her operatic recordings. But check out her art song because it's really, really beautiful.
How did you two meet?
Do not.
We met in undergrad. But we didn't really know each other. We met because, actually, it's kind of funny. The reason I knew who she was is because she was dating this guy that I had gone on one date with. And so I'm 3 years older. I'm 3 years older than Angel. And I had gone on a date with this guy, and it didn't work out. Like, it just didn't.
Yeah.
I was fine. But like a couple months later, he started dating Angel. And so this is how I came to know about her. Was
you were like
also,
this poor girl.
I was like, yeah. But then I also knew, I learned more about her because she was the singer at a gig that I was doing, at a wedding gig, and I was there with my quartet. Yeah, you probably don't remember this. And Angel was singing. And so I was like, oh, that's that girl that's now dating this guy that I went on a date with. And then we kind of started to hang out with the same people a little bit more. And one of my friends was asking her out, and so I knew more about her. But again, we weren't really friends.
Was that
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
I stood him up
and
twice on
then
accident, and I
it
don't
was not
regret
an
it.
accident. You shouldn't regret it. And then, um, when we moved to New York, we both got invited to a party. Shortly after Angel moved to New York, I had been living there for a little bit. And when she moved, I texted her,
Facebook
or I
message.
messaged her on Facebook, and I was like, "Hey, here's my number. You live in New York now. We should hang out." And she was like, "Yeah, can't wait to see you at this
I
party."
cannot believe
And
you're
then
going to tell this story. So
and then
embarrassed.
at the party, I went up to Angel and I was like, "Hey, it's nice to see you." She was like, "Hi, my name is Angel. It's nice to meet you." So,
I mean, in my
and
defense, like that was that point in time when you were using a profile picture where you had a beanie on, and remember that
what?
one profile picture where you're wearing a hat and you had it as your profile pic for like ever.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It was like kind of, I'm going to find it and then I'll tell you what I'm talking about. But I didn't,
Please.
like when we talked, I was so excited to meet you. But I don't know, I probably had social anxiety. And also, it's one thing to see like a tiny little profile picture on a screen, and another
We
thing to,
had also met in person before.
girl, if you think I remember anything from undergrad, you're
Just
talking to
saying.
the wrong
Like,
person.
I don't think I'm not to toot my own horn, but I'm like a nice, charming, memorable person.
You are.
She didn't know who the fuck I was. It's okay. That's how we
Sure.
became friends, because I laughed at her, and then we started drinking,
I
and
was
then
so embarrassed. Oh,
we
God.
sang Disney duets together.
Oh.
And that's all that happened that
Yes,
night.
100%. Nothing
That's the
else.
end of that story. How do you avoid copyright claims and strikes on YouTube? We
We
don't.
don't. So many videos don't make any money.
Yeah, we have we try it in a couple of different ways. Like, there are certain things that you can do, like talking over the music. But Angel has a hard time doing that because she likes to listen to it. So,
And everybody's like, you shouldn't stop so much. And I'm like, oh.
But then the other thing is, like, we pause at least every 30 seconds, and people are like, why do you should listen to it and then talk about it. Like, we can't do
Dude, if
that
you want to
anymore.
listen to it,
I'm
just
sorry.
go listen to the full video. I don't
Yeah,
know
like
what to tell you.
we always link to it, but we're never gonna have the full video play and then talk afterwards. That's just not how reaction works. Maybe other people do it that way. I don't know how they avoid copyright.
I don't know how they work
claims.
that hard and not make any money.
Yeah, but we can't do that. Sorry.
Therefore,
So the answer to your question is, we can avoid them if we do those certain things, but for the most part, we don't avoid it, and so we make other videos to make us money. So
I'll try talking more. I'll try talking
we
more.
can discuss that later.
Okay, fine.
Do you change your singing technique if microphone is used for live recording?
No.
Yeah, that's that. Claudia is a badass. It's true. Oh, Alex.
It's so true.
Graham, Paul, Tang.
It's the truest. So nice. The most true.
The most true. Every of the true. Not a racist pile of garbage. We work in a low bar industry. I like Brazilian classical music because it's closer to my heart. European seems more cold and mathematical to me. Interesting. What do you mean, like Villalobos and things like that? I can see that. Is vibrato something that develops naturally, or can you do exercises to force it? Does being good at riffs help it?
Don't force vibrato. I actually give a really good explanation of this in the response to the 2-set video. If you want to skip to the vibrato section, vibrato is just a natural reaction to healthy technique. It involves having the correct amount of subglottic pressure. It involves having the tongue relaxed. check out just watch that video. Even if don't watch the whole thing, just skip around until you find my explanation on vibrato, because I will give a much more thorough explanation of it there. I don't think that you can force it. I do think that being able to articulate pitches very quickly, like riffing or coloratura, will help you in achieving a relaxed, flexible voice, because it's really hard to do a riff or a cadenza with a tight throat or with an unhealthy technique. So yes, absolutely work on doing those. But the main thing, please do not try and force it. Like, you're not going to shake it out of your body like Miranda sings.
That's one of the, ouch, sorry. I know we're super behind on the chat, but.
Oh, we are? Sorry. I'll talk faster.
Yeah. We're just talking about that's one of the many things I love about Dimash. He is opening the world to all genres of music for all generations. This is true. Angel, do you perform in Europe too? And how often do you perform? Is this something you do daily, weekly, monthly?
Not often enough. I haven't performed in Europe since 2014. I was supposed to be in Austria in March. That did not happen. I was supposed to be in Finland in the fall. The organizer wants it to happen, but I'm like, I don't want to travel right now. Like, no way. So that's not happening. I was in Peru in 2018. I think that's my most recent international performance. But yeah, I'm planning on doing a German audition tour at some point. I'd like to look into fest contracts. So yeah, hopefully I will be performing internationally a lot more. But I still am a young artist, and while that does give me the, luxury label of professional opera singer, it's just a different world while I'm still under 30. Like, there's a lot of things that I can't do yet because of my age.
Yeah. Hey there from Estonia. Hi, Belinda.
Hi.
I'm so sorry, but I'm always the one who destroys the serious mood of each conversation. That is totally okay. Are there any male opera singers that you find hot?
Yes.
There?
Yes. I think, actually, I think the hottest guy in opera right now is one of my friends, Cody Quattlebaum. He's super hot, fully admit. Hey, Cody, you're so cute. There's also a really attractive bass bass baritone that I want to get on a YouTube Live. His name is James Harrington, and he is a really, really phenomenal bass baritone. He also wrote a book, and yeah, he's cute. He's married, but I mean, he knows he's cute. Who else?
Orange.
Sorry, that's enough. Those two. Go look at those guys. Also, Dmitry Hrvozdovsky and Jonas Kaufman.
Yeah. Aren't opera singers supposed to avoid alcohol and soda?
For every glass of wine I drink, I also drink a full glass of water. I also don't have any singing engagements until the 18th.
Yeah.
So I try to avoid drinking alcohol like 48 hours before so that I can hydrate. Sometimes 72 hours before, just depending on like what I'm singing. But I think that there's no problem in imbibing. For me personally, I don't have an extremely sensitive voice. I can sort of just soldier on, and it doesn't really make a big difference.
Oh, that's the same question. It's a bit biased. I don't know what that's referring to. Thanks for answering, Mashup Killer. You're welcome. Which is the best way to send third singing to you? Why don't you just add it as a comment in this on here, and we'll check it out. I'm addicted to watching opera masterclasses on YouTube. Are there any teachers you think are great and any that you think are hot garbage? What do you each like to get out of a masterclass?
I am not going to say who's hot garbage because I am trying to work in this industry. But you can always DM me on Instagram.
Slide into those DMs. Oh, by the way, our Instagram handles are
below.
Underneath us.
We tried doing one together, but we're just using our personal Instagrams. Like, what's the point? You'll have to put up with photos of Percy.
Yeah. No, I just mean like in the screen you'll see I put our Insta handles under there. So if you want to follow us, you can do that and slide into those DMs.
Listen to any masterclass by Renee Fleming. Listen to, and not just for technique, listen for all the other stuff. You have to listen to the Collis Juilliard masterclasses. There is no video, I don't think. I think it's only audio, but 100% you should listen to those. You should listen to the Caballé masterclasses. You should listen to Sutherland and Horn and Pavarotti talking on singing, talking on bel canto. Who else? Oh, Patricia Rissette. I just did work with her. She's unbelievable. Listen to any masterclass she's done. OTSL actually just posted one on the 11th, and they'll post one that I'm going to be in on the 18th. So check out the one on the 11th. I watched it, and there were some really, really helpful things in it. Or watch me sing on the 18th. Yeah, I think those would all be super, super beneficial. And Thomas Hampson as well gives some excellent master classes. He's a very technical singer.
Yeah, that's cool. The YouTube vocal coach Matt Ramsey said about Diana Akudinova that her low range / timbre was fake and that she used an octavizer. But I'm not sure whether to trust his
Used
claims.
A what?
Octavizer?
Yo, I don't even know what that is. Singers don't know technology. We just sing. Opera singers, at least.
Well, we'll have to. I don't think either one of us has listened to Diana, so we'll have to check her out, and then let you know.
And feel free to link the coach below too, because I'll watch it as well to figure out what that even is.
Matt Ramsey is the name of the coach.
Okay.
You're so interesting, beautiful and charming ladies. I'll raise and drink a glass of vodka to you, to your health and happiness. Oh, thank you. I was born in Russia, so I raised my metaphorical glass of vodka to you too, my friend. Please let us know when you perform in Austria. I'd like to go see you live. Yeah,
I want to be there so bad. I miss it so much. That was where I performed in 2014, and it was like one of the best experiences of my life.
Love your Luis Miguel reaction videos, girls. Thank you. We love Luis Miguel. Love from Mexico. Mucho amor desde North Carolina and Mexico. This is Adam. Adam question.
Yay.
On emoting, by the way, guys, our friend Adam gifted us the camera that we use for our videos. So, all the love to Adam.
He's amazing. He's the reason you can see all my pores.
Yeah. On emoting during a performance, having crying, Ben Platt has commented on how open his sound becomes after he cries and clears snot during a performance. What's the effect on operatic sound?
I mean, yes, there is definitely some sinus drainage, and you can fake that by going like this if you want, just to feel your sinuses drain, and then you'll all feel the openness that you have in your nasopharynx. I know it looks really weird, but it's like a real thing. I do it before I belt, actually. It doesn't, I mean, I've sung opera for so long, it doesn't make much of a difference there. But guys, not good, because my larynx clenches up so bad when I cry and sing. So I try to avoid it. Luckily, all of the moments where I have been unprofessional and cried on stage, Letter of Sullivan Blue being one of them, it was in a moment in my mid-voice. So, having a raised larynx there isn't as absolutely devastating as it could be if I were trying to flow to B flat. But I can see how it would help with belt, because you need a slightly raised laryngeal position for when you're belting, and your larynx is also sort of locked into place instead of like gently oscillating like it does when you're singing in your head voice. So I can kind of see how that would be helpful. But in general, I think it's better to try and stay removed, because I mean, it's hard not to be emotional when you're singing this type of things, but there comes a point when you are working constantly doing, the same role over and over again, or just trying to let the audience feel emotions, that if you're feeling them, you're just kind of like emotionally masturbating. You have to do it 7 days a week, and you need to get the audience to feel something. And if you're crying every single time you perform and not being able to sing at your best, how are they going to, are they going to react? You don't know.
You heard it. You heard it here first, kids. Don't emotionally masturbate. Alex says that really did clear my sinuses. Good. Let's see. I love Horn Sutherland Pavarotti speaking about bel canto on YouTube. Cool.
Yes, bless.
Have you listened to Chinese classical opera? Any recommendations?
I haven't. I did see like years ago there was and I think it was a Chinese rendition of Alice in Wonderland that I watched on YouTube. But other than that, no. So if anybody else has recommendations, please post them below, and I would really, really love to listen.
Yeah. Let's see.
Y'all, sometimes I'm just trying to make money, so I'm just singing standard rep, like.
I just downed that bottle of beer, so.
I listen to way too much Puccini. Give me new things to listen to. I love him, but.
An octavizer is an effect that tunes the pitch of vocals an octave up or down. He claimed that she pitched it down and that her timbre sounded unnatural because of it. Interesting. Yeah, we'll have to check that out and see if he is lying or not. Yeah. For throat singing, you should definitely check Tengri performing Heaven. He performed the Chinese music competition in 2018. He also has a duet with Dimash in 2019. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's see, Sarah and I like how Sarah and Adam are just like having a conversation.
I'll read it later.
Yeah. Azzarra, please react to Fauzia. Fauzia? She is so talented.
Going in the Google Doc.
Well, you can check it out. Are there any roles that you'd like to sing that aren't for your voice type?
Scarpia. Is it bad that I immediately want to be like one of the worst villains? But I would love to sing Scarpia. It's a dramatic baritone role in Puccini's Tosca. I'd love to sing Baby Doe in the Ballad of Baby Doe, but it's for a much, much lighter voice type than my own. There are a lot of dramatic sopranos who have sung Carmen, and I definitely want to do that too. It's not technically my voice type, but there is sort of a tradition of dramatic soprano singing it, so I'll try and make it happen. But luckily, like most of the things that I want to sing are soprano things that are in my wheelhouse. Even if I wouldn't get hired for Lucia right now because my voice is so dramatic, if I ever make it to that level of fame in the opera world, I could absolutely get hired for it based on my name and sing it very well. It would just be a very big sounding Lucia. And I'd want to sing Turiddu from Cavalleria Rusticana. The tenor.
Yeah. Sarah has a really interesting question. What suggestions, based on your collective expertise, do you have for the sustainment of the classical music industry in this day and age? That is really... Thanks for that question, Sarah. And it's one of the things that I do for work. I think, honestly, one of the most important things is this separation between technology and classical music cannot be a thing anymore. Like, the merging of the two is so important. I did one of my master's projects on this, but I think it's so cool that there are all of these platforms that are coming out, like the Berlin Phil online symphony hall, like the Met Live, the Met Opera Live, and then there are other things, like there's a musical theater, I can't remember what it's called, but I think having more classical music online and different ways to access classical music online is important. And then also another thing that I think is so important for the sustainability of classical music is continuing to open up the field to as many people as possible, because like the majority of classical musicians, not classical musicians, the majority of the classical music audience is older and is white. And I think it needs to be younger and more diverse. And so making it easily accessible, having performances available online, having performances in places that are not just at this big, like super expensive opera hall that you have to pay a lot of money to get into. Making things really easily accessible for younger generations and diverse people is what's going to keep classical music going, in my opinion. That's what I have to say about that.
I mean, I 100% agree with everything Claudia says. And also, sort of on a grassroots level, like the thing that we're doing right now, I think more young artists should be doing, putting themselves out there in social media. I think, at least in the opera world, the idea of like the dramatic callous diva is just not something that can exist anymore, because celebrities now write their own narratives. It's not like the paparazzi can just control the entire story of someone's career, someone, major in the field. We control our own narratives now. So I think more young singers should be doing things like this channel. I think they should all be putting themselves out there on social media. And my other big thing is that new music needs to be more well respected and more performed in major opera companies and orchestras. There need to be more commissions, period. Like, there needs to be more crossover and there needs to be more commissions.
And I think there needs to be a reevaluation of what classical music is. What is it that you consider classical music? Because it shouldn't just be the stuff that was written hundreds of years ago. I'm not saying that should be completely disregarded, but it's very Eurocentric, and it needs to be more inclusive of classical music in other parts of the world, which does exist. So, and that will in turn help bring in more audiences and interest more people. And thank you for asking that question, Sarah, because
that's an awesome question.
Really near and dear to my heart. What happened to your Nightwish reaction? Can't find it anymore on your channel. Good question.
People were so upset that we cut out the instrumental parts of the video. We got so much hate for that. They were like, why is this destroyed? We cut out all the instrumental stuff.
Yeah, I got rid of a lot of the instrumental things during editing because we didn't need it. We're not reacting to
Not reacting to 2 minutes of like keyboard playing, you guys.
Yeah. And then we took it down because we weren't making money off of it, and it was kind of affecting us negatively. The comments were just like not great. Like, people were not being, they were being mean. Like, it wasn't just like a couple of hateful comments here and there, which we get on almost every video that we make. But everything was like really negative, and we just don't need that. Like, especially if we're not making money off of it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, it shouldn't be all about the money. It's not all about the money, clearly, because we have so many.
But this is a fun BFF project. Like, we started this over a bowl of corn chips. I'm not about to like be miserable and abused on the internet. No. Yeah,
exactly. So that's where it went. It exists. It's just private. I love singing, but I sound like a dying goose. Do you think I have a chance of getting better?
Yes, of course. Of course you have a chance of getting better. 100%. I've taught so many students that are like, oh, I'm tone deaf. No, like, find a teacher in your area that works for you, or, you can't do that right now. So try taking a lesson with me. No, you absolutely can get better. Absolutely.
Do they teach acting in opera school?
Yes, 100%. Yes, and I studied the Stanislavski method with Pat Diamond, who is the head of the Yale Shakespeare program. So that's my like fancy acting hat.
Are the reaction videos coming back? Yes, they're not left.
They are.
We just haven't posted one in a little while because we wanted to try and add some more things into the mix. But yeah, we're not going to stop doing reaction videos. Are both of you in your mid-20s? No. I like how Sarah answered. They are not in their mid-20s. No, we're not.
Thanks,
we're not in our
Sarah.
mid-20s.
I'm going to be 28 on the 20th of this month.
Great. I'm 30. So that's that. How do you? Another Adam question. How do you stay optimistic about near-term opportunities for young musicians / freelancers during COVID-19 times? What advice can you give to others?
I think it's so nice of you to assume that I'm staying optimistic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think for me it's a little bit I can't really answer this question because I'm not freelancing. So this is all you.
Yeah, I'm really, really lucky that OTSL decided to honor a portion of my contract and that they decided to give us a sort of truncated curriculum. Um, there were other gigs that fell through, and other gigs that I canceled because I don't feel safe traveling for them. And I mean, Adam, I'm trying to stay optimistic, but it's tough because we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, Asheville Opera is basically folded. I actually think they might have folded due to other things besides COVID. But yeah, I can't answer this question. Like, I'm not optimistic. I'm very worried about it. And I hope that the administrators on every level, administrators like Claudia, are able to find things that work for them. I stay positive in the fact that it's very expensive to close a company. So I'm hoping that some of these companies stay open out of necessity. And I've actually, I worked for Opera Wyoming the other day. I never auditioned for them, but I sent them a video and they posted it on one of their online concerts. So, I mean, I'm still able to network, which is really interesting, even though, there are no auditions happening. But yeah, I mean, my only advice for people right now is to lean into the things that are actually earning income for them and keep practicing. That's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right.
Will you react to Jacob Collier? Yeah, actually.
Totally.
We should do that. Yes. How big would you say is the artistic freedom in today's opera? Does it stop with the ornamentation, or are there universally accepted ways to make an aria even more like your own? Like, make it your own. And while you're answering that question, I'm gonna go pee.
I have to pee so bad.
Oh, okay.
No, so you go pee, and then somebody ask Claudia a question for when I'm done with this question.
Okay.
I think that it's so weird because her whole face disappeared, and I'm like, whoa, I'm just talking to myself right now. Or that's what it looks like on my screen. I think that it really depends on the conductor that you're working with. I've worked with conductors who wanted very specific tempi for certain things and didn't want me to do certain cadenzas. Like if you're singing Mozart, some conductors are really happy to have cadenzas written on fermatas, and some conductors don't want that. They want it to be very straight sung. And it's the same thing with Verdi too. Some people want it done as written. Some people will let you add additional things. I am more happy when I can tailor make the aria just a little bit to myself. Like, for example, at the tail end of Non Mi Dir, what is it? Oh my gosh, I'm not going to sing all the way through it, but there is a moment where I change the language slightly, and I'm still saying the same thing, but I just slightly change the way that I'm saying it so that I can take a breath in a different place. It gives me, if you have a little bit of a longer phrase before the B flat, it's sort of easier to navigate to it. And I do the same thing in Come Scoglio. There's a place where I take a breath and I change the language slightly. And as far as Verdi goes in bel canto, I really, really like to write my own cadenzas or sort of patchwork quilt from other singers that I like. I have definitely done that before. I think my Semiramide is like a horrible Frankenstein monster of 8 different coloratures, and then a little bit of my own writing. And I'm really hoping Claudia comes back because I answered that question really fast. I'm going to go to my phone now and see if I can pull up the chat on my own. I don't have it up on my screen. Only Claudia does. There's so much. Nikos, have I ever sung Queen of the Night? It sounds really hard to perform. I understudied Queen of the Night when I was 17, and I sang Erste Dame. I do not sing Fs anymore because I'm 28 and I'm a dramatic soprano, but I did when I was younger, and I really enjoyed singing through both of her arias. They're really fun. And yes, very, very difficult. I do still sing Constanza, which is also a monster of a role if you want to listen. It's another Mozart aria, same voice type as Queen, and it's called Maten alla Aten. And on that note, I'm going to the bathroom.
Yeah, okay, I'm back. Okay, I don't know where she left off, because she didn't tell me. Let's see, thoughts on how to sustain this diversity momentum through programming non-white composers in classical music concerts. Who would you recommend? Oh my gosh, that is a really great question. Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important to kind of ease into it. There are a lot of people, unfortunately, that don't want to just listen to music by composers of color. They want to listen to kind of the standard classical music repertoire, and I think it's good to include a mixture of things into a program, and I'm seeing quite a few organizations doing this, like the Houston Symphony, for example. If you are not familiar with them, you should check them out. They have really cool programming, and they do a lot of mixtures, and they program kind of your standard stuff. They have like your Beethoven symphonies and things like that, but then they'll also include some more music, like like Villalobos is one of my favorite composers, and he does some really cool classical music stuff, like classical style music. There's a lot, honestly, and I think if you're interested in kind of learning William Grant Still, for example, really great music. He doesn't. I've played some of his, one of his string quartets, and it was one of the most beautiful pieces I've ever played. So I definitely think there's definitely places to pull from, and kind of including it in combination with some more standard repertoire is probably a good way to get people started on it. So that would be my suggestion. Just maybe organizations need to just make the decision that they're going to include music from more people of color into their programming, and not necessarily cut out some of the standard rep, but just in addition to it. Angel, what was the question that you answered?
I answered the question, the question that you read.
Oh, okay.
About ornamentation.
Right.
I see a question about the yaps. Will you read it? Because it's like tiny.
When we get to it.
Oh, dang. Are we not there? Sorry.
No. I don't know where it is, but anyway, can classical training affect negative or a contemporary singer? Like, affect a contemporary singer negatively? Like,
do you mean like pop belting?
I guess. I don't know. This is not my question.
Yeah. I mean, they're very, very different in the musculature. Like so right now I'm staying with my sister because all of my gigs canceled. And my sister Holly is a former professional singer, except she's the complete opposite of me. She's like a power belter. So good. Such an amazing belter. And we've sort of been working with each other because she also, grew up with my mother, who's an incredible pedagogue and voice teacher. And literally the way that we use our voices is just opposite ends of the spectrum. So I do think that, yes, unless you are someone like Dimash or along those veins where you studied both at the very beginning of your vocal journey, I think that it can be detrimental. Imagine somebody who does ballet and then suddenly they're playing football. Like, it can help you, but it can help you, but it can also hurt you. I'm sort of taking it because I also teach belt, and I had imposter syndrome about it for a while because I was like, well, I'm not really a belter. I know the function of it. I know how it works, but that's just not my voice type because I've spent the past 20 years trying to sing opera. But all of my belt students just kept continuing to improve because I'm teaching them how it functions and how they use their body to ensure that they belt with healthy technique. And you can use it to an extent, but yeah, if you are a really comfortable belter and you've been doing it for a while, delve into classical music, but don't try to completely jump ship. I mean, definitely stay abreast of what you're doing with your contemporary singing. There's a lot that's a whole video really on its own.
What do you both think about Bocelli's voice? I like his voice. I mean, I don't know that he's my favorite singer, but he has a nice voice.
I think that Bocelli has done a lot to introduce people to opera. And I think it's a beautiful voice. Yeah, he's not my favorite. But I'm very grateful for what he's done as sort of a popera singer to introduce people to opera.
And his son is really good looking.
Really?
Yeah.
Send me photos.
Happy birthday in advance, Angel. You both look even younger than you are.
Thanks.
Opera Theater St. Louis rocks. How great of them. Yeah.
Dude, they're awesome.
Angel. I think they meant Angel. Can I take you both out for your birthday? Asking for a friend. You can
stay 6 feet away, but yeah.
And watch the ads on our videos, and then you will be taking us out.
Very true.
As you mentioned, crossover, what's your opinion on Igor Krutoy? Is he known in the U.S.? I don't know who he is.
I don't know that he's known in the U.S., like mainstream sort of like collective zeitgeist, but he's known by me. And I knew of him long before I knew of Dimash. I think his music is beautiful. And I think that, honestly, America needs more composers like Igor Krutoy.
What are your thoughts on the general nature of opera? It can be very expensive for everyone below the Met level. Ideas on how the industry could function better for artists.
Pay your young artists. Pay them. Pay them a living wage. Don't make me spend $3,000 to apply for a job and pay us a living wage. And all of them should be union. Sorry. I hope that nobody... Guys, this channel is either going to help me with my career or no one's ever going to hire me ever again. So watch the ads. Pay your artists a living wage. I did one program where I counted up the hours and how much they paid me, and I made 11 cents an hour. Guys, pay artists. Pay us. And stop giving character actor roles to young artists because they're cheaper. Hire actual character actors to sing the funny roles that know what they're doing, that are veterans, and let the young artists do, the really small compromario stuff or just cover. They keep hiring young... I'm yelling because my headphones are shoved all the way in my eardrums. But they keep hiring young singers to sing these big compromario stuff or funny things, and it's you're saving money, but they're not as good. We're young artists. We need more experience, and we shouldn't be... Pay your artists. Don't charge us to audition for you. OTSL doesn't. I didn't have to pay an application fee. I don't even think I had to pay the pianist. I think they covered all the costs. I just had to pay to drive my butt there. No. But my entire audition season this past year was wildly expensive.
I'm sorry,
to apply for jobs. So I think that it is a mess. It's a mess. And I think that all YAPs should be ACMA, because otherwise they're basically just unpaid labor. I'm sorry. I have a lot of feelings about that.
All right. Have you ever sung Queen of the Night?
Oh, I did answer that. Sorry.
You did?
Mm-hmm. I did.
I think Demi has the most powerful voice in the young generation, but her agility is very weak and she loses her tone every now and then. Just like her AMA Instagram concert, or llama Instagram. I don't know.
Lame?
Lame? I don't know. I
Oh,
don't.
I don't know.
Yeah.
She uses way too much chest. She uses too much chest and she uses too much air. And when you have that much subglottic pressure coming through your chords, you don't have any agility because they're like this the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be flexible when you have that much air pushing through. And it's a very strong, emotional, powerful belt, but she's paying a price for it.
Yeah. Claudia, I can't post a comment below. Oh, really? Well, if you want to, on Instagram, you can send us the link. Our handles are under our names, and you can find us and send us whatever link to a video that you want us to react to, or that you want us to listen to or talk about, or whatever. Claudia, will you stream viola and violin playing, and can you learn by ear too? I'll answer the second question first. Yes, I can learn by ear. I don't have perfect pitch, but I have very, very good relative pitch. Claudia, will you ever stream on violin? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Will you ever what?
Will I ever stream playing violin or viola? Maybe. I mean, if I'm working on something that I really like and I want to perform, sure.
I've only heard you play once.
Other people have heard me play more times.
Don't like that. I heard you do the Borodin string chord, the Sunrise Quartet.
That's not. He doesn't have a Sunrise Quartet.
Wait, well, what was it called? It's like da 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 da.
The Borodin string quartet. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. How common are stage mics in opera nowadays? Is it something opera houses openly talk about?
I have never performed with stage mics that were meant for amplification. I have only performed with stage mics that were meant to record. So I don't know. I do know that I have sat in the nosebleeds of the Met many a time and not heard the singers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's the end of that question.
Clau, don't you think Yo-Yo Ma opened cello to more contemporary music? Yeah, absolutely. He sure did. His
You're going to talk about his bossa nova.
Yeah, his Obrigado Brazil album is really good, and then also his tango album, so good. Oh yeah, another thing another composer that should be added to more classical music concerts, Piazzolla. If you don't listen to Piazzolla, fuck you, because he's amazing, and you should. He has so much good music, so absolutely. Let's see. 11 cents, and yeah. Using too much chest is not healthy outside opera too? Question mark?
I always advocate a mix for belts. And I do think that in certain places you can use more chest. Like power belter. Sorry, hair. It's like in my nose now because I shoved my face into his face. You can play with the mix as you're singing, and if you want a big power belt right at the end, you can add more chest. But Demi uses chest throughout. And that can be really exhausting because the more chest you use, the more your larynx is going to be locked into place. Because that's what a full belt is. Your larynx is not sort of gently resting like on bungee cords. It's just being locked in. So yeah, the more you do that, the more tiresome it's going to be because your tendons and the musculature surrounding your voice box can't hold that position for that long when you're pushing that much air through. It's exhausting. It's like Atlas, like you're holding up the world. So yes, to an extent, chest can be very damaging.
Can you do whistle tone? Yes, Angel can. Sarah answered that. Yes, Angel can do whistle tone. How do you both encourage diversity in repertoire? I do so by performing it myself, or suggesting it to as many people as possible. In my job, at the very least, I can suggest it to the people that are in charge of selecting repertoire, and do my best to push for it as much as I can without necessarily annoying people. That hasn't really been an issue, though. For the most part, I think at this point in my professional career, people trust me enough to know that if I'm suggesting a particular piece, it's probably because it's a good piece and it should be performed. So I do a lot of recommending and a lot of sharing myself. Like I mean, I send music to Angel all the time, but not just to her, but to other organizations that I have worked for. And yeah, that's kind of the way that I push for it, is by literally pushing it in front of people and saying, this is a really interesting piece and I think it should be played by the ensemble, whatever that ensemble might be. And maybe bringing in to the conversation the fact that the students performing would be interested in playing this music because they can relate to it more than they can, say, a Mozart, Beethoven, or a Haydn. So yeah.
For me, I need to be more involved with new music. I mean, I just mentioned the John Kander piece. That's kind of new, and I just commissioned a piece from a friend. For me, it's more about what I'm singing, because the way that I can introduce people to new rep is by performing it, because I function mainly as a performer. I'm also working on some pieces by a Scottish woman composer who wrote these pieces just a few years ago. I'm really excited to work on them. And I just ordered, that I'm really excited about, another Renee commission. But listen, she has such good taste. It's the Kevin Putz Letters from Georgia, which are letters that Georgia O'Keeffe sent and letters that were sent to her. I'm very excited to start working on that. And in general, I really prefer to do obscure music. Like, I like to go on those Wikipedia spirals where I'll learn about Schubert and then I'll find like the one piece that he wrote that nobody ever sings. And I just kind of do that with as many composers as I can. I'm a big advocate of singing music that you cannot listen to on YouTube. So if that means that you're going to a composer's Wikipedia page and just clicking on everything, finding the sheet music and learning it, I am a really big fan of that. Also, I bother all of my friends, and they've come to me now with German lieder recommendations, which is my favorite thing to do.
Let's see. What a cute dog. Oh, that was about Percy.
Yeah, he's cute.
Let's see. When we first met, she said she'd play for me. I've yet to hear it. Oh, Adam, is this about me playing viola? I'm sorry.
Get it together, Claudia.
I mean, to be fair, I spend most of my time working on a non-performative job. Is that a way to say that? I don't know. Whatever. I don't perform for a living.
All that time spent playing video games.
I don't perform for a living. I like to perform when I want to, which is why I don't perform for a living. Because my connection with music is I like to do it for myself. I like to play my instrument because I want to play it, not because if I don't play it, I'm not going to make any money. Because I got really burnt out in college. So,
that's a very real thing.
Yeah.
We should make that a video.
So that's why I don't play that much anymore, but I did used to play all the time. I used to practice so much. And I still do, like I practice, but not as much as I used to. So I'll do something, like maybe Angel and I will play something together, but we have to wait until we can travel and be in the same place.
I know.
How big of an issue is a gospel jaw/jaw vibrato in your opinion? Oof. Gospel jaw? I've never heard it called that.
I've never heard that term either. Versus what?
Like a jaw vibrato? I'm guessing they mean like Yeah.
Uh, okay, I have been thinking on this a lot. Guys, by the way, I've talked about this in private with Claudia, but I really do want to get my DMA in pedagogy because I've always been so interested in this. And I also want to come not just from a mastery of pedagogy, but from a doctor of pedagogy. And I'm still learning. Jaw articulation, I am absolutely 100% against when it comes to the classical voice. But there are so many singers out there who articulate riff with their jaw that I have been wondering lately, and this is not something that I'm 100% on. I'm just now starting to sort of like delve into the actual science of it. But I'm starting to wonder if, because the voice box is in a locked position, if it's even healthier to articulate pitch with the jaw. And everything in my mind is screaming no, because it's so bad for somebody like me to articulate with the jaw. But I need to dig more into it, you know, because as much as I've always been like, God, I really hate when they're articulating like, you know, like jawing out every pitch. Like it's fucking ugly to look at. Like, I'm sorry.
Like James Charles.
Well, that was a whole other level. Like his jaw was definitely not in a healthy position. But look at somebody like Ariana.
Oh yeah, she'll do that.
You know, like there are too many outliers who articulate pitch with the jaw in a healthy way, where the jaw is dropped in a hinge, you know, like that, instead of like this, like James Charles, like that. Don't do that. But when the jaw is dropped and relaxed, and you're articulating pitch with the jaw loosely moving, I don't think that's so bad. There's also outliers who do it in the classical world, Baroque singers like Cecilia Bartoli and Vivica Jeannot. So I'm digging more into it. Like that is actually something I've been Sherlocking on my own for the past couple of weeks. So great question, and I will probably make a video solely about that.
What's your favorite Disney song? I love, like, my favorite Disney movie is The Lion King. I love The Lion King. And then my favorite collective Disney music is the music from The Lion King. But I don't know if my favorite song, maybe Circle of Life might be one of my favorite Disney songs. I'll also, from Tangled, I think Tangled is super underrated. Like Tangled is way better than Frozen.
So much better than Frozen.
From Tangled, I think, the titular, like the main theme is my favorite. Like
Flower gleam and glow, or 7 a.m.
the usual morning round.
Morning line up.
Yeah, that.
Start the chores and sweep till the floor is all clean. Clean. And your favorite ensemble song has got to be the Muses, right? We are the Muses.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, yeah.
We've sung that together so many times, like.
Yeah, but collectively, I think the Lion King music is my favorite. I just really love the way that it was done. Yeah. What about you?
My favorite Disney sad song is Baby Mine from Dumbo.
Oh, God.
Dude, it's so sad. It's so, if that's not the saddest song in the Disney canon, then you're wrong. I think my favorite is probably, God, that's hard. I mean, I did Belle. Back when I did musical theater, I did Belle. And that was like a dream come true. So all of her music, I loved singing. But I think my favorite is probably With a Smile and a Song from Snow White. With a smile and a song.
Is Fleur from Nightwish a great opera singer? What do you think? Is she an opera singer, or does she sing operatically?
She is a metal singer who sings operatically.
Okay.
Or like a metal orchestral singer who sings operatically. I think that in the operatic world, like, because this is an AMA and I have had 3 glasses of wine and I'm being honest, if she were singing strictly opera, she would be okay. But because she is singing the way that she's singing with the group that she is singing, she is spectacular.
Yeah.
Because of I don't think that she definitely didn't invent the genre, but she's really perfected it.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think that opera singers could step into her shoes and do as good of a job? Absolutely not. Yeah, this is not suitable for kids.
FMK, Beethoven, Schoenberg, or Rachmaninoff?
Who asked that? How did
Sarah.
they know? Okay, kill Beethoven. Sorry. I mean, I love the Pastoral Symphony, but no, kill Beethoven. Fuck Rachmaninoff because he's 6'6", and because of the Opus 38, and because of Daisies, and because of the Vespers. Oh my God! Yes, of course I'll marry Schoenberg.
Okay, we have very different answers.
Schoenberg's my bae. I love Schoenberg so much.
Very different answers.
He was also funny and nice. I mean, he's scared of the number 13, but like, who isn't?
I would kill Schoenberg. I would F Beethoven and marry Rachmaninoff.
I feel like Rachmaninoff, I don't know. I mean, I kind of would want to marry him too, but...
That's my choices. Are there any modern film or TV shows that would make good operas, and which characters would you like to play in them? Oh, and don't say The Office. That's part of it. They already knew.
So cruel.
Honestly, like, even though the last season is total garbage, I think Game of Thrones would make a really interesting opera. Yeah.
And who would play the characters?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd play
Cersei Lannister. Yes. Because Jon Snow would just be the viola playing like, I don't know.
I would play Jon Snow nothing. Because I have been Jon Snow before. I was Jon Snow one year for Halloween.
So let's just pretend that opera... Oh, and she was a good Jon Snow. Go look on her Instagram. Let's just pretend that all opera singers are like in their peak prime.
No.
Cersei's Maria Callas.
No, they're asking who you would play. Like, who each of us would play.
I got really excited. I do dream casting in my head all the time.
No, who would you like to play in the show?
Cersei.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, I've already got the wine glass and the blonde hair. Like,
have you listened to Indian classical music? And if not, please react to Kaushiki Chakraborty performing Rag.
Yes, if you can link it below, please do.
I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but yes, I have. I think Hindu musicians have such a cool way of counting. It's so... And it, like, freaking hard. I could never do that.
If the channel ever gets to the point where we can do, like, sort of like a Try Guys of Music type thing, one of the first things I want to do is try to learn how to sing like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
for sure. Let's see. How much can I increase my range? Oh, interesting question. I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of a tough thing to answer because I don't know, like, your background with singing or what your range is now, but I mean, it depends. Like, for me, if I haven't sung for 3 or 4 weeks, my range will decrease just by probably a half step. But when I get back into it, I mean, it's definitely possible to, like, get back the half step or whole step that I've, like, missed from just not using my instrument. It's definitely possible to increase your range. There's not enough information there. I'm sorry. You feel free to elaborate.
Yeah. Claudia, how many personalities do you have? Does it seem like I have more than one? I have... one personality.
You've got 2.
Like my professional personality and like my personality with friends.
Yeah.
I guess. Sure. I'll go with that. 2 personalities.
I think a lot of people think that Claudia is shy, but I think that Claudia is just unbothered.
No, I am a shy person. It does take me a little bit to get comfortable with people, but once I do, I'm not shy.
She's the best.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess, does that answer your question, Mashup Killer? 2 personalities? I don't know. Angel has like 40.
Yes, it's true.
Especially in male singers, their voice usually lowers with age. Can it happen to the vocal Fach classification if male opera singers change with time?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, look at Domingo. Not that I ever want to talk about him or use him as an example in anything, although he did release some good recordings. He sings baritone rep now, and he has for quite a long time. As you age, the chords sort of calcify. They become less flexible and they become less pliant. So you do lose, to some degree, your range, and then your voice settles slightly lower. So, and that's even happened to me. I mean, when I was 17, I was singing Queen of the Night. And I could handle Queen until about 22. I don't sing Queen anymore because that was never my voice type. It was just something I could do because I was so young. Of course, there are women who can sing Queen of the Night and they're 40. That's their voice type. They probably had much higher notes than the F6.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely, your voice will drop with age.
How much can I increase my range? Can someone increase his or her range if that person takes classes? And is it true that a person can increase their range to infinity with appropriate exercises? No.
To infinity? No.
I'm not a singer,
No.
and I can tell you that. I mean,
men do have an advantage if they are working with a teacher throughout puberty. They will maintain their falsetto as well as develop their lower voices. Women can't do that because obviously our voice breaks aren't as dramatic as men's are. But yes, of course, if you're working with someone, you can improve your range. I have a student right now, not really her range. We're working specifically on belting. She came to me as a choral soprano and she was singing like C6 is fine. But we've been working on giving her power belts in her chest. And when she started, she could power belt an A flat, and now she's power belting E flats. So she's doing a perfect fifth higher than she was.
Cool. What do you do when you can't get music out of your head? Or you sing it and listen to it until we're sick of it. I mean, that's what I do. Yeah, I sing it all the time. Or listen to it over and over again until I get sick of it.
Sometimes you get sick of it and it's still
there. Then I just go to sleep.
Sometimes I try to sing like the end of it. Like I'll try to sing all the way through from the like point, but that doesn't always work.
Oh, so we are at 2 hours already streaming, but we still have a few questions that we haven't gotten to, not just from chat, but the questions that we got outside. Do you want to pull those up?
Sure.
I don't have them. But I'll see if maybe we can answer some of these. What happens if a singer's voice doesn't work the day they have to perform? What happens in the opera world? Is lip sync a thing? Lip sync is not a thing.
Absolutely not a thing.
You have understudies, right? Yeah, you have covers. So
but usually you only don't go on in the case of like extreme laryngitis or like really being sick.
3/4 or 4/4 time.
I don't think I have a preference.
Yeah, me neither.
Never thought about that.
I mean, I like them both.
Yeah, I mean, there's some songs I like in 3/4 and some songs I don't like in 3/4 and vice versa.
Can you please do more live streams? I'm really liking hanging out with you. Yes, actually, this is a lot of fun.
This is so nice.
Absolutely,
yes.
We will do more live streams. Lucky 7 likes guitar and trumpet. Best instrument is the fiddle and harmonica. Interesting choices. I think my favorite instrument is probably the cello. Please fan cast a Game of Thrones opera. Who should compose and conduct?
Oh my God. Let's do that on the next live AMA.
Okay.
I mean, not AMA. Let's do that on the next live that we do.
Well, Oz.
Well, fan cast like our favorite shows.
Yeah, Oz. We will do that next time because it'll take us another hour to.
So glad you asked.
To fan cast.
Okay, here are the questions.
Wait. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead. No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Do either of you like choral music? If so, what music era is your fave? Yes, I do like choral music a lot. I don't think I have favorite eras, but I have favorite sort of standalone pieces. The Ralph Vaughan Williams Dona Nobis Pacem with texts from the Mass, as well as texts from Walt Whitman, one of my favorite American composers. I also absolutely love the Bach B minor Mass. There is an amazing recording right now of David Stern conducting it. You should go check that out. And standalone pieces like Rachmaninoff's Bogorodice Dievo or Palestrina's Sicut Cervus. Really, really beautiful stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I also like choral music. It's not my favorite type of music, classical music specifically. I prefer instrumental, but Baroque choral music is probably my favorite.
Yeah, like those really raunchy madrigals.
Mm-hmm.
So raunchy, like so unbelievably raunchy. My eldest sister is also an extremely accomplished choral conductor. So every now and then I like to talk to her about choral rep. She's unbelievable. Her and her husband both are like a total choral conducting power couple. Which of you can type the fastest? Did you learn to type on a typewriter or computer? Theodore, what is this question? But I learned to type on a keyboard in Mississippi with like the orange cover so that I couldn't look at the letters. And I can type at 183 words per minute.
I don't know how many words per minute I can type, but I can type really fast. And
we both agreed that she's probably much faster.
Just because I type more than you do. And I learned on
keyboard.
Not a keyboard, sorry. Typewriter.
You learned on a typewriter? You learned on a typewriter? I thought that was such a weird question because I was like, of course the keyboard, but that's wild. Not a weird question.
A lot of people in South America had to learn how to use a typewriter when we were in school. So
that's crazy.
That's where I grew up. That's where I learned to type.
You know.
And so yeah, at school I had to use a typewriter, but we also used keyboards. And my parents had this really old keyboard that was broken, and I took it into my room and I would practice typing. Like it wasn't connected to anything, it was just the keyboard.
And I've got another question here.
Go for
it. This is from Pablo to me. For someone who is not a pianist, you know a lot of piano music. How did this happen? What are your favorite composers' works for piano and why? And you should answer this too because you're the same.
I love anything that is Lecuona. Some of my favorite piano music is written by Ernesto Lecuona. So that's my answer to that.
I didn't know that about you. You should send me some videos.
Sure.
For me, it's my favorite instrument. Besides the voice, I guess I should say, even though I do find myself listening more to piano rep. And Pablo, honestly, if you're watching this, it's partially because of you, because Pablo is a classical pianist. And when we became friends, you introduced me to a couple of pieces that were like a little bit outliers, a little bit of outlier pieces. And I mean, the way that my brain works is I'm so ADD, I just go on spirals. When I see like the John Adams China Gates, the next thing I know, I'm like listening to, I don't know, like Szymanowski piano concertos that he wrote when he was 14. Like it's just that's how it happens. Yeah, and it's my favorite instrument.
Yeah, I already answered. I was going to answer it again, but I already said.
But Rachmaninoff or Mampu are probably my favorite piano composers. If you want to listen to something obscure, you should send out what you said, and also the Mampu Young Girls in a Garden is really beautiful.
How much do I need to practice a day to be in the same level of people who were born into a musical environment and literally practice since they are 3 years old? Even if you were born into a musical family and you practice since you were 3 years old, you still have to practice. And I practice, like, when I was, like, into it, I practiced, like, 6 or 7 hours a day. 6 hours usually, like 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 in the evening. That was, like, when I practiced the most. Most of the time, I would practice 4 hours a day, but then there were also days when I wouldn't practice at all. Nowadays, I practice maybe an hour. So yeah.
That's crazy that we practice the same amount and I'm still performing professionally. I practice about an hour a day, and then I passive practice about an hour a day.
But it's different for voice than it is for instrumentalists.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in Nori, it's not so much about, it's just it's not so much what environment you're born into. It's how much time you invest into your music.
And it's also how you practice, because I used to practice a lot more and I did not get anywhere near the level of work that I do now. Make sure that when you're practicing, you are not frustrating yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you are having trouble with something, move on. Mm-hmm. Go somewhere else. Start your practice sessions with a warm-up and then sing something that you love and that's comfortable. Mm-hmm. And just make sure that everything that you're doing, you're aware and cognizant of your body. Because if you're not, if you're just singing because you're like, oh, I'm in here to practice, that's not going to work. Yeah. You have to be focused. And then my other thing is that as far as like being raised in a musical family, I will say to some extent in the opera world, it depends on the statistics of how many singers in your voice type there are. You will never or very, very rarely hear about sopranos that come into the career late. You will hear about baritones and bass baritones that come into the career very late, pretty often, because their voice type is just so much more rare than ours, or there just are less of them in the operatic field. Yeah. So that's that on that.
Head voice versus falsetto. I've heard women equals head voice and men equals falsetto. Is this correct?
That is the standard take of voice scientists, but to me, it's all head voice. I will use the colloquial term of falsetto when I'm talking about a man, just for clarity, but they function in the same way.
Puberty blockers for children to keep their falsetto voices? No.
What? People do?
No. No.
That sounds not okay.
I'll just say no.
No.
Let's see. Stormy Daniels loves the fiddle. Okay. When you are already formed by Western music, Indian music could be tough because they use different scales, a lot of microtones. Yeah, this is true.
Totally.
Do you know the band Pantera?
Mm-hmm.
You do? I don't.
I mean, it's been a while, but I've definitely heard them before.
Sarah says, fuck puberty blockers. Agreed.
Yes, 100%.
Keith Jarrett is a piano master. To me, that's Mashup Killer. Are there popular opera singers who sing both tenor and countertenor roles? Nope. Can you react and give your opinion on Arabic singers, older ones? They have different technique and they would love to see your take.
I'd love to. I will say again that it is not a technique I'm familiar with, but to the best of my ability, I will try to analyze what's happening.
Yeah. Do we have any?
But I'll always tell you if I don't know what's going on.
Do we have any other non-chat questions?
The other question was who's more dramatic? Oh. But like, come on.
It's Angel. She's more dramatic.
I'm just louder.
Yeah.
Way louder.
This is true. But we have come to the end of our time together. But we will definitely do this again. Because this is fun. Yeah, we like talking with you guys and hanging out and, just being chill. Because it doesn't have to be like super...
Yeah, this was super nice.
So thank you for hanging out with us and for sending all your questions and for subscribing. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe. We have
like and subscribe.
We have. It's crazy how many people watch our videos but are not subscribed to our channel. So,
yeah.
Subscribe, please. would love to see you both singing together too. Ooh. No.
I want to do a video where I force her to take a voice lesson.
Yeah, we have some plans, but anyway, thank you everybody. This was so much fun. I hope you all have a lovely evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are. And we will be back next week with either a video or another live stream. We'll decide. Probably a video, because we should.
Probably, yeah. It's time for a new reaction.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Dimash.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Sinful passion, I think, maybe.
Okay, fun. So, good. You don't need to hang up, Angel. I'm just going to end the stream.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Bye. It's weird to wave. I don't know why I'm waving, but...